to Fallout Texas Rising session 32. Last session was mostly roleplay. The party got to go down to the Alamo and discover this new settlement for the first time in this campaign. We have decided that we're going to keep the action points they earned during that roleplay, since there's no real good opportunities to use them during that session. So they get to do some rollover for the action points for the first time as well. Good for you guys, right?
Woohoo!
Since I didn't earn any aside from the starting pool. At this point, gentlemen, you have, well, depending on what you do, at the moment you have kind of just one option in front of you to go back to Raven Watch and either turn on the vertibird tracker, follow that path, or to look for or do some more quests for the Brotherhood itself. So up to you. Your power armor, by the time you get back to the city, your power armor is all set. I forget the name of that character, but he's got your power armor all done.
I think it was Dan.
Yeah, Dan, that was right.
Lieutenant Dan, yes.
Well, that's where the name came from, but the character has nothing to do with him. All right. Yeah, there it is. I found them on my notes finally. So what'd you like to do, guys?
Well, back to town, and I guess try to stay the night and then head back in the morning, or if they're amenable, of course, to it. If the people in town are amenable to it, like, I don't expect not, but.
Oh yeah, well you'll have there's a couple of inns in the town, so you can find a place to stay, no problem.
Oh, okay, well. Fine.
All right. So stay in town. It'll be for room and board, it'll be 25 caps.
Okay. Each or together?
Each.
Okay.
And that affords you each get your own private room, and food and everything for the night. So if you have anything on your character sheets marked as tired or thirsty or whatever, go and bring all that to the normal state. Is there anything else you'd like to do in Alamo before you head out in the morning?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So where are you going to head out when you hit in the morning? Are you going to go back to Raven Watch?
I guess that would be the best thing to do, because it's, yeah.
Okay. Let's move the token on up there. Yeah, that isn't going to be field yet. All right, so we're not rolling any random encounters for your trip back. It's a path that you've taken already, so you're able to traverse it fairly easily and avoid any of the common pitfalls that are there. When you arrive at Raven's supposed to be Raven's Watch. You find that Squire Thompson has the Brotherhood contingent there, well organized. They have set up their, they've taken over the barracks there. They've left a couple of quarters for the two of you, of course. But they've taken over the other rooms that are available. They have assisted the Protectrons there that were already doing repairs. They've assisted them in getting the fort back up to pretty much full operational capacity, aside from its aerial capacity, the jet, Verto jet being still out of commission.
That's going to take a little while.
Yep, with an engine missing and all that.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to fabricate or find one. Yeah. So.
That being said, he does, when you get there, he greets you and says, we have the Vertibird tracking software is installed and running on the main computer. You can find that upstairs. However, we do have another quest that's been sent down from the main base, if you're interested.
Might be good idea to find out general traffic that the vertibirds might be doing, and stuff like that. So keep a watch on them for a couple of days, maybe, to see what they're doing. So I don't know. What's the other quest?
Well, the elders have rumors, or they've discovered rumors, or intelligence that points to a Vault-Tec vault in the northwestern part of Texas, not far north, but the western side. Let me make sure I push this map out to you guys so that you got it. Indications are it's somewhere around the city that is now known as Los.
Sounds like going to Ghoultown.
Looking at the computer that has the tracking software on it, you see several pings. The transponders on the vertibirds throughout just all of Texas are pinging. They've already marked the ones that they know that are theirs. So those are colored in green. The rest are colored yellow, as they don't know what they are. He points out that they don't have a lot of history of anything before, well, no history at all before hooking up the software. But what little history they have is going back about 12 hours at this point, since they got it up and running sometime during your trip back to Raven's Watch from Alamo. He points out a couple that have been stationary for that entire time. And he shows you a few others that are traversing from the southern area of Texas to the north near some what they think might be settlements, and then back south. But somewhere south of the Alamo, the transponders stop working.
Okay.
Do they think it's range or something's blocking the signal?
They do believe it's something blocking the signal, as they're able to see vertibirds at the same distance north, towards the north, but down south. If it's a range thing, it's a very weird range for it to have more reach north than it does south. So he's speculating it's something that is blocking the signal, or active vertibirds down there have been told to turn the transponders off after a certain point. He does point one out to you that has been stationary for some time near Carbon.
Okay.
And so, gentlemen, I'm not going to let these quest names go without being mentioned. You have before you, if you're looking your Pit Boy, you have, and you go to your data tab and look under quests, you have 2 primary quests available to you right now. The first one being from the Brotherhood to investigate the vault. It is Vault Tech's Secrets is that first quest. The second quest, while not necessarily given to you by anybody directly, it is closely related to the Guardians quest line and Crockett's Men. It is entitled, "Oh Jammer, where art thou?" Got tongue tied there. "Oh Jammer, where art thou?"
Hmm. So you said they're on the quest tab?
No, I was just saying that, like, if you're in a video game,
Oh,
you'd pull up the Pit Boy.
I got you.
However, I can share the Vault Tech one, although you're not going to see much in there except for the quest name.
Okay.
Actually, I can. I can put the GM notes into the public notes there. Oh no, I got other stuff at the bottom. Hold up. I didn't realize it was much longer than that. I can share this part though. There. Okay, now that quest should have a description in there. The description for "Oh Jammer, where art thou" is basically just track down vertibirds, trying to locate Jammer or the organization he's working for.
Okay.
And obviously, Squire Thompson has taken an interest in that one that's near Carbon, since that is the only one that is tagged as yellow, that has been stationary for the entire time that they've had the system up and running, and is the closest one to the base where the Brotherhood are at currently as well. So,
Well, or I guess that being said, the one near Los, that's basically not going to move. Um,
One near
you
Carbon.
want to go through Carbon to Los, see what happens.
Yeah.
That, and if we can get any information on the jammer, needs some splaining to do.
all right. So you're going to go investigate the signal near Carbon, and regardless of what you find there, you're going to move on to the Vault Tech's quest.
Well, we'll figure out what happens in Carbon, and then most just depending on what we find. I don't know. What do you think, Jack?
We'll get to Carbon, find that signal if it's still there. Then, basically, yeah. If this job's still available, take the escort mission to Los and go there and then search around, see if we can find the vault.
Looking to double dip a little bit there, huh?
Well, it's convenient and probably wise to have at least some cover as to why we're going there, beyond, oh, there's this thingy on this piece of technology that we don't really understand. And yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, Squire Thompson says, well, if you're going to potentially go on to Los. That is my next mission. So I'll accompany you to Carbon to check out this first signal, but from there I'm heading to Los whether you do or not.
Oh, you're lonesome?
Well, I'll have a few men with me. If you decide to go with me, then I'll send them back here. But if you discover that you are needed elsewhere, then I'll have a few men with me, or perhaps even recruit a couple of mercenaries from Carbon.
Excuse me. All right. Well, we'll see what Carbon has. We can take you home. You can meet my mom and pa.
And at that, he turns and starts preparing his gear. All right.
No, wow.
Huh?
Nothing. I gotta see if I still have it. Oh, I ate the pie. Damn it! I was gonna take it back to mom, but I ate it. Maybe I'll tell her how good it was.
And rub it in.
Right. Rub it in. Mom, I found the best pie ever. I'm sorry I ate it all though.
Oh my. All right. So gathering your gear together, along with a couple of other initiates and Squire Thompson, everybody loads up into one of the Humvees and y'all head out. Because of Ravenwat's location right here near Waco, you pretty much drive past Waco and join in on the caravan route itself, thus avoiding most all other encounters on your way to Carbon. Now, do you want to go into Carbon City, or do you want to just go straight to the signal first? Oh, by the way, Thompson was able to help you load up the system on your Pip-Boy so that Ravenwatch is now forwarding the tracking results to your Pip-Boy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna kind of wonder about that.
All right, so if you go to the signal first, the signal is right there where I've placed your campfire.
Okay.
And give me one moment here. All right. So, upon arriving, you have discovered the wreckage of a vertebrate on top of a cliff. It is an arduous journey. The vehicle obviously is not going to be able to go up there, so you have to get out of the vehicle, remove your power armor, and scale the side of this cliff. Once you get to the top of it, you find the wreckage of this vertebrate. It appears to be an old model, possibly dating back to the pre-war times. However, this is confirmation that the tracking software is functional for both old and new vertebrates, as the Brotherhood has already marked theirs as in the system, and theirs are new vertebrates. So the tracking software is working. What would you like to do here at this crash site? You've climbed up the side of the mountain to find it. Its engines, the propellers are all kind of completely shot, but the main cabin seems to be intact.
Okay. Did Thompson come up the cliff with us, or is he
Yes.
still with? Okay.
Yeah, you two and Thompson went up the cliff. Everybody else is still down near the Humvee watching the gear.
Okay.
So I guess I didn't take Betsy and Honey with me.
Not they're back at Ravenwatch. Yeah, unless you want to have them coming along trying to keep up with the Humvee.
Yeah, no.
So, kind of look at Thompson's. Well, and I presume we ain't got space enough to try and shove most of this onto the Humvee, so I presume you guys have a way of marking this location for later retrieval?
Well, we can let the main base know, but with the engines completely gone, the rest of this is not going to be a high priority.
Um, if this is a pre-war vertebrate, then there's probably decent radio.
Well, I
And
am a squire. While I can recognize this stuff and I can mark the location, I couldn't tell if it was a decent radio or not.
well, besides, most likely spare parts that could be readily refurbished. So, yeah, low priority, but I'm sure your people were
Is
interested.
there a fusion core in this thing? Or
I'm glad
multiple?
you asked. It's time to make a roll to actually search this, the cabin,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
nobody's opened
yeah,
the door of yet.
yeah, yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah, can we look at this thing? Can I hook
Right.
my pit boy up to it?
The difficulty is set at 1. Go ahead and do a survival perception check for me.
Okay.
And what does this do for us? Just
This is going to be searching the entire cabin of the vertebrate for any useful information or gear or whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
are you
look-
gonna you're gonna look that? Okay.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
All right. Slash, are you doing anything? Are you gonna be searching as well?
Yes, I'm searching. Already spent an action point to obtain information.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then I'm going to roll that.
Son of a gun. All right. So this is gonna be really bad for you, Jack. I was going to tell you after you guys got done with everything, but since you got that complication, I have to handle it now. Your climb up the mountain has caused you to go down 1 rank on your rested status, on your rest status. And Jack, while trying to search the vertebrate's cabin, you were attempting to open the door or one of the doors within it to get to a compartment. And it would not budge for the longest time, and you have caused yourself to go down yet another tier on the rest status.
Okay.
So Slash, you should be at tired. Yeah, Jack, you're right. Very good.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, go click your rest status. Be tired.
okay.
You've tired yourself out climbing the mountain. And you do find some things. Let me pull up. Why is it only that?
We find any ammo, roll another 3d6, I think. Let me check that again.
It depends on the ammo. Some ammo is exempt from that.
That's fine.
All right. So yeah, there's going to be random, going to be some ammo. There are some vertebrate parts, so you're able to salvage a couple of the navigation systems, and the radio. You do find the transponder as well, and you're able to disable it so it disappears from the tracking software. No longer going to be out there to confuse you guys in any way. You find a technical manual, which, excuse me. Oh, what was her name? Cole?
Olivia Cole? Yes.
Olivia Cole will purchase from you. That is just a standing thing. They'll take any technical manuals. Ammo cache, we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to get some survival stuff. Let's see if I got it random. Random chems is what I want. Yep, there's a random chem table. We'll roll that in a moment. You find a pilot's journal. You find that gruesomely that when you finally get the door open and wear yourself out, Jack, you find skeletons in the front of the cabin in the cockpit area, and one of them is holding a journal. You're able to look through it and find this is indeed a pre-war vertibird, and this pilot was waxing sweet poetics about his family and how he misses them and hopes that they did not suffer in their last hours as he has, trapped inside this crashed vertibird. And then, of course, you find several, like all the boxes and everything there can carry the pre-war American flag as their sigil. However, you do find one box stashed away that has a relatively old version, but still looks the same, of the Enclave logo. Perhaps a version of it when it was still a fledgling organization within the U.S. government before the war ended everything.
Right. So, shift the bodies. Just a couple little inches of sand over them, and then, yeah.
There's the random chems. And let's roll the ammunition. Should be more than that. Let's do these 2 more each. Okay. Drag that over there. Put that over there. Close those. Okay. You get an additional 1d6 per rank. Oh, no, not 1d6. That's for misses.
3d6.
3d6.
Mm-hmm.
An additional 3, so that makes this one that, and that's that. All right. Here are the loot parcels. You find in the med cabinet a comics, a Daddio, and a diluted stim pack. And in the ammunition box, obviously partially looted already, you find 18 plasma cartridges and 22 railway spikes.
Alrighty.
I will let you do with those as you please. Do be aware that I'll be deleting the parcels at the end of the session so they don't clutter up my parcel location.
Gotcha.
All the other items that you've looted will get loaded up into the Humvee. Most of it, I imagine, is going to be mostly useful for Brotherhood as they repair other vertibirds, unless you're wanting to hold on to anything in particular.
Can't think of anything in particular.
Can they see me, my pet boy? Does it ping them or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I was wondering,
the connection is two-way.
outside. Come again?
The connection is two-way.
So, I guess my only thought was, if we could easily get to the transponder and take it with us, and but I guess I get my big thing is like, can I ping something, on my map and then they see it? If not, I would take the transponder, or try to, so that, go for it.
You've recovered the transponder already.
Okay.
And it's part of the gear. It's going with the other salvage tech in the Humvee. You cannot ping anything on your map and have it sent back to Ravenwatch. The Pit Boy's not quite capable of that level.
Mm-hmm.
They can track your Pit Boy, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yes, you can turn this transponder back on, and it would show back up on their Vertibird tracking software.
Right.
But other than that, and the only reason they're able to track your Pit Boy is because they've essentially installed the Vertibird transponder code into your Pit Boy so that you can track other vertibirds. But then once you uninstall that, you're no longer showing up on that vertibird tracker.
Gotcha. I need plasma cartridges. Oh, I'm looking to see if any of my weapons need the plasma cartridges.
I don't think any of the ones you use typically use it.
Right. Yeah, I think I use them what is that? Fusion cells.
Yeah.
And I don't really see anything need for the railway spikes. I don't have anything that shoots anything like that.
Okay.
And they're heavy.
Yeah, they are.
I'm trying to keep my weight down, just in case I get out of the armor, and I need to take something. What's the other thing? This Calmex or whatever.
Calmex?
Oh.
Sedative.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Daddio is an interesting one too.
Don't go getting addicted now.
I know, right? I like that, Daddy-O. That's interesting. So if a person takes the Calmex, they can re-roll perception and agility test and then get +2 to the sneak attack damage.
If that's what it says. I haven't read
It's
it myself.
Gotcha. So it doesn't say it directly, but says that it can help you with anxiety and fear.
Now
It's
I gotta
interesting.
because you're starting to look at this thing really really close. So now I'm gonna look up the addiction rules.
They're bad.
Let's see.
At this point, I'm thinking sell
Oh wow, that's
take them to
man.
sell them to either in town or just off to the Brotherhood.
Yeah, they're very addictive.
Yes,
Wow.
but not just the drugs, but also the ammo.
Yeah. You want to take the stim pack?
Sure.
Yeah, we can leave the the ammo and the chems to the BOS.
All right. Good. All the chems, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. You just don't, whatever you're going to let the BOS have, just don't put it in your inventory and we'll be good there.
Yeah, I think he's gonna take the stem pack, and then we're just leaving the rest.
Okay.
Uh, well,
Well, that's all.
yeah.
You descend back down to the Humvee from the cliff. And after a full day's work of scavenging this pre-war vertebrate, I need you both to hit the thirst status bar as well as the hunger status bar, once each.
Okay.
You're not in any danger at this point of being dehydrated, and you still have a fair amount of energy left, but maybe it's snack time, if you had time for it. Squire Thompson, however, has no time for sitting around. He is preparing his Humvee and his the rest of his couple of initiates he's brought with him. They're not really highly ranked. They're fairly new. In fact, you think you recognize both of them as part of the recruits that were being yelled at when you first arrived at the Brotherhood base, Shepard's Air Force Base. And he's itching to get on towards Los. And he looks at you as kind of expectantly as are you guys coming with us, or you intend to move on with more vertebrate tracking?
Well, kind of look. Is it getting on to nightfall or like late afternoon, or is it still kind of?
It's late afternoon.
Okay.
I so we'll go with you to Los, but we want to go back into Carbon real quick, and but how about we
Spend the night in Carbon.
there we go.
Get a little bit of rest. Start early in the morning.
Yep, sounds great. You can well go for it.
That's fine for you, gentlemen, but we need to be moving on. So if you do come to Los, look me up. I imagine that we may be there for some time trying to find this vault.
I mean, numbers and all.
I have 2 initiates with me. When we traveled together before, there was just the 3 of us still.
Hmm.
I ain't saying nothing about your greenhorns here, but I'm not certain that they could shoot a gun like we can.
And I'm face palming. Well, alright, we can. Was recommending instead of rushing off and possibly getting hurt. But alright, we can go with.
I mean, I'd much rather ride in the back of the Humvee than walk there.
That is up to you. And if you come with me, you get the ride.
See, this is why I don't join organizations. They all got timelines and. All right, well, I guess we're going with you then. And he'll hop back in the Humvee after coming out the mountain, the cliff.
All right. I mean, y'all, just saying, I'm not trying to railroad you guys here. It's just this NPC's got his thing to do.
Yeah.
If y'all want to do something else, that's perfectly fine.
It's not that important.
Going once. All right. Going once, going twice, going sold.
All
All
right.
right. So you begin making your way to Los from the crashed vertebrate site. And let's see here.
What we need to do to take care of tired, hydrated, and all that.
Well, you're going to have to take what would be in the D&D world a long rest as far as terminology goes. However, I'm going to do it very differently. I'm going to base how long you actually need to rest to count as a long rest based on what you did to make yourselves tired. In this case, a night's rest will be all you need. However, you're not going to be able to get that night's rest while traveling to Los because Squire Thompson is not allowing any breaks. And when he gets tired of driving, he swaps out one of the initiates, or if one of y'all want to drive. And so the sleep you get while in the Humvee is uneven and not restful. You can, however, if you wish, you can drink and you can eat to be able to restore your hunger and thirst, but your rest will plateau where it is during the trip to Los. I do wish that was a drop down instead of a cycle. Or a plus minus button instead of a cycle, because then you got to go all the way through back up to the top.
I know, right?
Yeah. But now that I'm into modding stuff on Fantasy Grounds, I might do that. I might do that mod. All right. Slash, are you gonna eat or drink anything?
I'm looking.
You're looking. All right.
Yeah, I'm
Anything
trying to
on
figure
your
out.
Brahmin is not with you.
I know, right?
While you're looking, when you arrive at Los, you find it to be a very thin settlement. And the buildings are all narrow. None of them are more than a story or two tall. There doesn't seem to be any kind of agriculture, at least not that you can see immediately, and no form of manufacturing. And when you do finally see the residents, they are, of course, ghouls. They don't seem to run or hide from you. They keep an eye on the vehicle as it comes in, parks near the edge of town. As you're observing Squire Thompson, he doesn't bat an eye at there being a bunch of ghouls here. It seems he's quite used to that. But it is in this case, is more the initiates slightly, and the ghouls themselves of Los are a little more wary of non-ghouls coming in. A particularly thin and tall ghoul, approaches you as you get out of the Humvee. And he opens his arms to the side in a welcoming motion. So, welcome to Los, strangers. What can I do for you? You see behind him a few other ghouls, still very thin, but not quite as tall, coming up. They have rifles slung. A few of them have them at the ready position.
Is Thompson, he's not a squire anymore, is he? Or
No, yes, he
what's
was
his
an initiate when you first met him, and he's a squire now.
squire? Okay, all right. So Squire Thompson, is he in his power armor, or
No,
does he have?
none of you in your power. The
Okay.
power armor is all strapped to the side of the Humvee because it doesn't fit inside the Humvee.
Got it. Okay.
So none of you are in power armor, but he is in his Brotherhood's outfit, uniform, as well as the initiates are in their Brotherhood uniforms.
All right, and then so I actually have the hood and well, down so that they can actually see me. And I'm like, well, apparently there's something. Well, you guys wouldn't have found a vault around here, did you?
A vault? No, we don't know anything about vaults around here. And he looks at you quizzically, kind of cocks his head a little bit, and you can feel the radiation emanating from him. He's probably one of the most irradiated ghouls within the close proximity at the moment, aside from yourself, of course. He looks at you. Says, so what are you doing traveling with these smoothskins here? Especially those three in the uniform. And I apologize if I can't keep that voice up. It's it's slipping in and out.
Yeah, that's fine. And gesture slash say, well, kind of helped raise him, so I'm keeping him mostly out of trouble for his first.
Hey, how's it going?
And the Brotherhood guys here, well, they're following their thing of trying to collect the tech, and they pay rather well, amongst other things.
So you're one of those lucky ghouls that gets to masquerade as a smooth skin, earning caps, doing their lapdog work. Tell me I'm wrong.
No. Well, I'm not anybody's lapdog, but more or less you're right. But I also get to wander around and see, well, how bad off the world is since that really bad day.
Well, the world's gone to the pooper, and it ain't coming back, I don't think. Seems you might be around my age. A little bit more radiation in you than you're let on, I think, too. He cocks an eyebrow at you, and he glances over at your other companions to see their reactions. The initiates, you do notice the initiates kind of stiffen their backs a little bit at that comment.
So, where were you when the bombs fell?
Oh, that was too long ago. I don't remember anymore. Been here for quite some time. I ran from the NCR and their war with his kind. And he points at Squire Thompson. He's bearing the Brotherhood emblem on his uniform. Yeah.
Okay. And I remember if I have a drawing or whatever of the Enclave emblem.
You remember it well enough. Even if you don't have a drawing, you could sketch it out real quick.
All right,
in a recognizable pattern.
All right, so well, part of why I'm running with these guys is, and I go and sketch out. There's a really organized bunch of raiders that use this symbol that they're trying to stomp out.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
You think raiders are smart enough to come up with their own little symbols that don't include skulls, as he looks at the sketch you drew in the sand, maybe. Did you draw it in the sand, like?
More or less, yeah. And
As he
Wow.
says that, he kind of he kicks his feet to dust over it.
yeah, and could be just they decided to take something from pre-war and use it, but who knows? Just seems like a bunch that seems to be real interested in taking everything that isn't nailed down and pulling up the nails where they can, using that symbol and acting like raiders.
Well, you won't find any raiders around here. They're too scared to come around us ghouls, and we ain't got nothing they want. I'm sure you noticed the lack of agriculture here.
Yeah,
Only thing we got is the mold and mildew and algae that we grow. The traders come here every now and then to buy some of it to put into their liquors. But that's all it's useful for the smoothskins. And the raiders ain't smart enough to figure that out. So if that's all you're here for is raiders, and you ain't got nothing for trade, perhaps it's best you take you and your little steel men there and be on your way.
alright. Thanks for the information, and I pull out a pack of sugar bombs. Well, or was that cereal? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
pull out a box of the sugar bombs and hand it to him.
Oh, what's this for? Ain't nothing around here free. You know that better than most.
Yeah. You gave information.
Gave that information to keep trouble out of my city. I've already been paid by keeping that trouble out.
Okay. Well, if he's not going to take it, I'm not going to force him, but
Okay.
and start to turn away and like gesture to like search outside of town.
As you turn away, we did, what did we do before? Oh, I remember. Like insight with speech perception. This is not going to be insight. This is going to be regular. So do a survival perception check for me as you begin to turn. Hey.
Nice.
Shit.
And Slash, you don't notice. You're too distracted by just ghouls upon ghouls upon ghouls. Yeah, this is no ghouls you've ever seen in your entire life.
Yeah, I'm looking around a little nervous and also, trying to see what they do have for trade, and
They don't seem to have much, at least not where they've stopped you out here at the
Gotcha.
edge of town.
Right.
Jack, as you begin to turn, you catch some movement out of the corner of your eye, and you look over to see there's a child ghoul who, your best guess, has been watching very closely the sugar bombs when you pulled them out, and was too distracted by them to continue to stay well hidden. Obviously, they were watching the whole conversation, but they were well hidden at that point. But the sugar bombs distracted this child enough that you've now caught sight of them. The child makes eye contact with you briefly before disappearing behind some rubble on the edge of town. You see that potentially this is like a favorite playground area for some children in the town, as it is there's plenty of stuff to climb on and everything on this area over here. But yes, the child does disappear around a corner, though.
All right.
The tall, thin ghoul turns as you turn. He kind of motions to his men that they can back up a little bit, but they keep their eyes on your party.
Heck, I didn't know they made ghouls and kids ghouls. I I didn't know that kids could be ghouls.
Yeah. Just about everybody, seemingly, at all stages of life can become ghouls. Though I can't say I've encountered very many children who've become ghouls. But still don't know what exactly makes a ghoul and what doesn't. Kind of, as we're kind of walking away, I try to keep an eye out for the kid. Just in case they decide to come wandering.
Sorry, got a little distracted.
Mm.
As you get further out, you get a better angle on the rubble area over there, and you see that there are indeed several kids over there playing. All of them are ghouls, of course. And they're some of them are, they'll stop and they watch, they look at you, they find your group to be interesting. And the remainder of the guards, they just kind of stand back. They don't seem to be really trying to make you leave any kind of immediate sense, but they're not. They don't look like they'd be like entirely welcoming either.
Okay.
Man, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to take some of my supplies with me. Being without Betsy's is kind of awkward. Yeah. Squire Dan, do you know where this place is supposed to be? Is it supposed to be? It, well, we're just gonna have to start searching.
Squire Thompson looks at you. Who's Squire Dan?
I'm in Thompson.
Gotta mess with you. Squire Thompson, he looks around and says, "We just know it's in this area. Is built in this county. It finished construction just a few weeks before the bombs fell."
Well, that was convenient.
Yeah.
And I think the more you learn about the Vault Tech, the more you see conveniences all over in their history.
Yeah.
Is there any like or much radiation in this area?
Doesn't seem to be, no. Your Pip-Boy is not triggering on a high level, except when you get a little bit too close to some of the ghouls.
Gotcha.
So, searching for Vault. Fun.
Yeah, maybe the leads are not obvious enough.
Well, I
Hmm.
didn't, get anything on my survival, so
Yeah,
I don't
that's true.
really recognize. So I'm kind of
Well,
waiting, waiting.
yeah, but all right. So when they finally, if they decide to let up on the observing, I
Hmm.
well, provided of course we don't leave and get too far away from town before it happens. I want to kind of slip into the playground and like ask them about this stuff.
Okay.
After all, kids will find and get into the most amazing stuff.
Yes. All right. Well, you sit there for about 30 minutes or so discussing things with Squire Thompson and the other initiates. Finally, Thompson decides, I'm going to go talk with them again. The Midwest Brotherhood still is more welcoming to the mutated than our brothers on the West Coast. Perhaps I can get through to him and arrange some sort of trade between the Brotherhood and Los, and that will grant us access to search the area. So he marches off up to the gate. The gate is now, sorry, not gate. What is being used as the entrance. There's no real walls or gates around this area, just a few buildings with some ghouls here and there with rifles standing guard. As far as any directly observing you, there's only about two at the main, could be considered the main entrance. And that is where Squire Thompson heads off to speak with them. As he does, you notice that all the ghouls on guard, if they're not watching in another far off area for any movement, their focus is now directly on Squire Thompson. However, notably, none of them have brought their weapons into a ready position, as Thompson very smartly approached with no weapons in hand. All his weapons were holstered, and he approached palms outward to show he meant no harm. And so he is there discussing with them in what appears for the moment to be a very civil conversation. The playground area is outside of what would be considered the borders of the town. Again, it has no walls or gates or anything, so there's no clear defined perimeter aside from where the ghouls are standing guard. There does not seem to be anybody directly responsible for guarding the area where the kids are playing at, as they seem to be watching in the distance for approaching things and to get people out of the way if something dangerous approaches. So this would appear to be the best time, if there is one, to approach the children.
Okay. So
And I'll follow Jack at a distance. I'm not getting too close to anybody in particular.
Okay.
I try to approach the kids, see if what they if they have any information.
Are you approaching with the sugar bombs in hand? I know that we're here. I got candy, kids.
Yeah, not trying to do that. Just like
I set you up for it.
yeah,
But no, you're more like the soldier in a foreign land who's just like, all right, here's all the kids. They want American candy. Just give it to them. One of the kids comes up and he's looking at the sugar bombs in your pouch, and I'm done with the voice. My throat is hurting now.
Mm.
Um, he got candy. Is there,
Uh,
we got scrap. We got copper and wiring.
well, actually, was more interested in information,
Well,
but
we got information too. People talk around us all the time. They don't know that we're there, or they don't care. They don't think we hear.
well, I kind of look at the spokes kid. It's like 100, 200. Looking at him.
Yeah, he. Oh, are you trying to figure out his age?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were like asking him 100, 200 caps.
No.
I was gonna say no. He wants the sugar bombs.
Yeah.
How old is this kid? Yeah, he's well, you see quite a few different ones. Give me a perception speech and a perception survival.
Okay, this is most likely going to go poorly. Figures.
Okay. Yeah.
Just one off. And then the survival. Well,
Okay. You're not really able to pin down because you're listening to their voices to try and hear potential ages of when they were ghoulified, and then compare that to their state of ghoulification. You're not really able to catch their voices to discern their pre-ghoulification age. But looking at their the state of ghoulification amongst the closest ones to you, you'd guess that you're dealing with kids that have been ghoulified within the last 75 to 100 years. The oldest one maybe being 125 as far as when they were ghoulified. However, something very interesting catches your eye. On the far side of the rubble, barely peeking out behind a piece of rubble, you see what you think for a moment, because it's gone when you focus on it. You think you saw a glowing child.
okay. And so I tried to slip, well, like, why don't we go a little further away from, and kind of gesture inside the cloak, point towards the Humvee, and try to go in the direction of where I thought that glowing kid is.
Okay. So you take what would be seen as a casual stroll around the outer edge of the rubble area here. As you do so, you realize that this is what would have been like a single-story townhouse kind of thing that is blasted by the shockwave. The kid stays. You're staying on the outer edge of the rubble. The kid's staying inside the rubble. As you walk around, he asks you, "What information are you looking for?"
Well, supposedly, according to the Brotherhood guys, there's a vault somewhere in the area that was finished a couple weeks before the bombs fell. So it might be just an empty hole in the ground at this point. Might be some stuff in there. and as soon as I'm no longer visible from the Humvee, I try to just let it go so I actually start to glow.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
As you're
Gently.
saying this, yeah. As you're telling the kid what you're looking for, his eyes start to shine a little bit. He's recognizing some of the things that you're talking about here. And he says, "Oh, my dad is the town's historian. He'll probably know some things about this. If you give me those sugar bombs as the down payment, I'll go talk to him and I'll convince him to talk with the town leader to, maybe let you guys in and look around things." And as he's saying that, his words start to trail off as you begin to glow a little bit. All right, you're not about to go feral on me now, and he starts to back up.
No, and just thought one of you looked like they were starting to do this.
Oh, yeah. Talking about. Well, I better not say much, but yeah, it's a strange thing. We don't tell the adults about them.
So, you didn't stay coherent? Or
I've
just...
already said too much. How about the deal? Sugar
Alright.
bombs. I apparently now have two pieces of information for you. His eyes change. He's now the excited tradesman. He's going to wheel and deal. He's like, I can either help you get into the town, or I can tell you about the glower.
Alright. And...
I pull out some gumdrops.
Great. Actually, I pull out 2 boxes of the sugar bombs.
Oh.
And I'm presuming these are the little boxes, like...
Yeah, we'll say they are.
Alright.
He looks at you and says, "So you was holding out on me, were you? I have to keep an eye on you."
Just because I've got more doesn't mean I have to show all of what I've got. And...
Well, the glower
One-
showed up a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
And he looks like us, except he glows. And he hasn't talked, but he doesn't act like other feral ghouls.
Okay.
And he'll come out and play with us every now and then. He stays out the side of the adults. And then I don't know where he goes when we all head home. But for the other thing, he holds his hands out for the sugar bomb boxes.
All right. And
I'll go talk to my dad.
All right. And well, when the kids go, I actually wanted to try and search out the glowing kid.
Okay. How do you want to proceed with that? In what way?
Well, without pulling out the radiant heart, I want to try and do the lower end radiant mind link, looking for the kid. Mostly try to get a direction at this point.
let me Radiant Mind Link. Pull that up and just refresh my memory on what it does.
Mm. Well, it allows for sharing thoughts and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
but we've been kind of using it as like a radar as well, so that you can sense things. Because just combining it with your ghoul or your glowing ability as well. So yeah, you can do that, and get that there. Setting up here.
Mm.
As you do so, you begin to sense the presence of multiple individuals that are infected with radiation. However, you are presented with a bit of a problem. There's so many here that you're not necessarily able to discern individuals until they have separated themselves from whichever group they're hanging out with. So, for instance, the children here, the ones inside the playing area, or the play, what they're using as a playground, it's just visually you see that there's multiple kids there, but as far as the radiation feeling you're getting, it's all just coming from the same area. You're not able to, at the low level you're using your ability, you're not able to separate out the individual radiation signatures, as it were.
All right.
The guards standing on various buildings, you can separate them out because they're not grouped up in a group, but the kids all grouped up there within 5 or 10 feet of each other they're too close together for you to separate out and determine, the power level, the radiation levels that they're giving off.
All right. Well, when that basically fails, try to shut down the glowing, and then shrug and like, okay, well, so more mundane way of searching, and just start looking around.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to grab. Yeah, that'll work. You're unable to find, by the time the other kid comes back, you've been unable to find the glowing one. He seems to have potentially just left, or is extremely good at hiding, and has completely eluded you. The other child, however, has returned and gets your attention and says, "Hey, my dad's going to talk to the elder. You're probably going to have to do something for them to show good faith, but after that, you'll probably be allowed to come in and look for my dad. I haven't told my dad anything about the vault you're looking for or anything, because they may not even wanted to talk to you then. But if you do something for the elder and he decides to let you in as on good faith, just look for my dad. He's getting and he'll give you directions to their house. And then, there's a sign out front that says historian. And you just talk to him. He might be able to help you."
Okay. And when get the information, I'll kind of look to Slash if he's still hanging around. Well, we might have a lead then. Cool. And start to head back to the Humvee.
Okay.
Is Thompson back, or he's still arguing with the elder?
He is back. And he never actually got the elder. He never got past the guards. They refused to speak with him. Well, the guards spoke with him, but the elder refused to even come out and speak with him. You get back over to the Humvee. You guys are discussing again when the elder appears again and comes about halfway out to meet you halfway again. Excuse me. It appears some of my more influential citizens would like to give you a chance. So, I suppose we will. We have something that you would say is a thorn in our side. Blast it. Not all ghouls get along.
Obviously. People are people.
Some feral ghouls have decided, well, I suppose they haven't decided, they're just feral. But they've gone so feral that they attack other ghouls. Unfortunately, they have made their nest in one of our fungi farms. While you may not have any qualms about it, we would prefer not to attack these ghouls. They are former members of our fine city. And so, if you are able to remove them, yes, by any means necessary, I suppose, and liberate our fungi farm, I will grant you a temporary pass into our city.
All right.
On a probationary basis, if you non-pre-wars can understand what that means. He looks at you, Jack, with a twinkle in his eye.
Yeah. And kind of look to Slash and like almost the this is going to be too easy look, and then look at Thompson's like, okay, so this might be a little bit of work, but if you let me, I think I can do this without assistance.
You're looking at who?
Thompson.
Thompson, okay. Thompson looks at you kind of quizzically, and I suppose it is your right to decide the squad size you take in, but he's already said that these ferals will attack ghouls. Your nature will not protect you in this case.
I've picked up a few tricks over the years, and I might be able to at least draw them out so we could deal with the problem without damaging the farm. But I'm hoping I can just get them to leave. Granted, that does mean they would be a problem for someone else later down the road, but
Perhaps even a problem for this very city later down the road if they decide to return.
true. But who knows what's off in the desert.
I caution against it, but it is your choice.
Alright, and kind of looked to the elder and was like, well, I can try to do this kind of quiet and peaceful like. And bring in these guys to do the rest of it if I can't. And
The elder looks at you and say, "There is something different about you, isn't there?"
yes, I've soaked up a lot of radiation over the years, and I haven't gotten rid of all of it, obviously. And so, kind of just like which direction gesture, kind of.
He'll point you in the right direction. He'll inform you that there's one way in from the south.
Okay.
They collapsed some other buildings around an area, or the buildings had been collapsed already. But there's only one way to get in. Will you be taking Slash with you? And Bane?
Yeah, but bring them so that they can close enough to hand to cover me if this goes sideways, but not interfere.
Okay.
Granted, obviously, Slash could decide to be right up my butt the entire way, but that's
I mean, if you're planning on using, some ghoulish techniques, then yeah, I'll stay away from you. I remember the last time.
yeah.
I think I still got a bump on my head.
Yep. So.
In fact, I'll probably take a Rad-X
Before we
even go over there.
Okay.
Good idea. And when we get to maybe half a block or so away, I kind of try and get Bane to sit and stay.
Alright.
Stand guard, but not. And yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. I had to change the size of the map's grid because the map had a built-in grid that was much smaller than the grid that Fantasy Grounds was trying to add. So I'm making that adjustment real quick so that everything is appropriately sized. So that is good to go now. Share record. All right. Here you are. We can turn off that flight grid now because you don't need it. So everything's the same size now. We do not have line of sight enabled here. But there are more than just the two ghouls you see.
Fine.
They're hidden until they are awoken from their hibernation. Yeah, you know how it is in the games. They crawl out of the woodworks.
Yes.
All right. So Slash technically has the first turn here. What would you like to do, sir? If anything.
Did I take my power armor with me?
Did you?
Jack?
Well, if you wanted to, I wouldn't have stopped you.
Okay.
Roll a d4, or I'll roll a d4. You call it odds or evens.
Even. All right.
No.
All right. No.
Okay.
That is a I don't know. You didn't get it off the rack in time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it would make it, basically like it's going to take a lot of time and observe. Like I don't want people to observe us too much. So
You won't need it. This is not intended to be a difficult encounter anyway. There's
Gotcha.
another purpose to this encounter.
Yeah, well, so
So I'm just gonna come so I can see down, like see well, and let me look at real quick. Shotgun, where are you at? All right, medium range. Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'll just stay here and watch his back. If things start moving towards him, like chasing us down or attacking us, then I'll blast him. But I'm gonna just hold my action and wait for Jack to say help.
Okay. Jack, your turn.
right, so move to where I can see the one of the ghouls,
Mm-hmm.
and
You can see both of them at this point.
okay, and so when I do, I give off try to do the full up radiant mind link.
Radiant Mind Link enhanced.
Yep.
All right. So for the benefit of the audience, we will go and read this out loud because this is a custom perk
Huh?
that you earned during your time in the Parallax. Through the intensified radiation pulsations, the ghoul taps into an enhanced version of their radiant-based abilities, allowing them to establish a powerful mind link with any creature bearing the mark of radiation. This includes beings with radiated in their name, those immune to radiation, or possessing radiation-related abilities. By harnessing the intensified radiation, the ghoul can form a telepathic connection that transcends conventional communication and extends to these radiated beings. During the activation of Radiant Mind Link Enhanced, the ghoul and connected radiated creatures experience an even deeper level of unity and shared consciousness. In addition to the benefits of the regular Radiant Mind Link, the enhanced version grants the ghoul the ability to extend a measure of control over the connected creatures. Through a mental contest of intelligence, the ghoul can influence the thoughts, actions, and behavior of the radiated beings within the Mind Link. This heightened telepathic power grants the ghoul a strategic advantage. That's more flavor text there. That's not actual. The ghoul can guide their actions, convey complex plans instantaneously, and synchronize their movements seamlessly. Potent tool for extending influence over the minds of radiated creatures, allowing the ghoul to bend their will to align with the overall objectives of the party. However, the success of controlling the connected creatures depends on the outcome of the mental contest, with stronger-willed creatures potentially resisting the ghoul's influence. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I assume you're attempting to hit both of these with it.
Yep.
All right. You are able to, without a roll, you are able to connect with both of them. You now have control of these two ghouls.
All right. And
Their mental capability is non-existent, so there's no contest.
so I basically try and collect them up to
If you
start
will-
trying to move them.
You want to ping where you want them at?
All right.
Then I can set their movement
Well,
in that
first
direction.
here.
You want to get them to there?
Yeah.
All right. And would
And-
you want them to expend their full turn to do that, or just go 5 squares at a time until they get there?
Mostly if going slowly doesn't matter. I'm trying to collect all the ghouls in the area, so
Okay. So go Going slow doesn't matter. All right. Anything else?
Not yet.
All right. Will Bane do anything?
I guess Overwatch, basically.
Okay. All right. Slash is your turn again.
I'm just gonna hold back. Um, I look at Jack and I'm like, "Am I far enough away from you?"
I do believe.
Okay.
All right. Jack.
Alright. And move out. Alright, so move to about, I guess, here. And
All right.
I flush anybody out.
You do alert. So you have 2 more ghouls. 4, 5. All right. You have taken your move. You have your major and minor action left.
Alright. And try to take them as well.
Okay.
Uh,
This will have a contested roll.
Okay.
It will be your intelligence. And we're using, we'll use speech here because this is a battle of the minds.
Okay.
But instead of the charisma, we're going to use the intelligence because it's more your willpower than it is your actual ability to speak. But speech is the only thing that makes sense in the skill list at this moment.
Alright. Should. Yeah.
But hang on. We're going to ignore that roll
Okay.
because the mind you're going against actually has to set the difficulty first.
Alright.
They have 2 successes. That makes the difficulty 2. Now you can roll. Okay. You take over number 4.
Okay.
And now from number 5. Holy cow. Goodness. And I gave you 2 action points per D20 I re-rolled there. So the difficulty is now, well, it's 1. Difficulty 1 to take over number 5.
Okay. Barely.
There you go. All right. So you now have control of Feral Ghoul 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Okay. And basically try to collect them together.
Okay. So go on. I'm assuming Bane's going to do Overwatch again.
Uh-huh.
One. While I am moving them, give me a intelligence survival, please.
Oh, okay.
I know it's different.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a... Whew!
Holy cow. All right, let's see. You had difficulty 2, and you got 2 successes. All right, cool. For some reason, I was thinking you had 4 successes, but I guess I just seen double on that critical. So you succeed. You realize that when you were taking over 4 and 5, you were not fighting their minds.
Oh, goody.
Slash. What do you have? What do you have?
I'm gonna move out of the way of this troop of ghoulies.
Okay.
I guess they're coming down this way.
No, they're going. 2 of them were kind of coming down just to collect with the other 2, but they're not going to come directly down to where you are yet. I don't think. Waiting on orders from Jack for that.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way out. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Still a good idea, just don't need to move yet. Okay, so...
Anything else slash Overwatch?
Yeah, Overwatch.
All right. Jack.
Okay, so... Should just... move over to here. And... Since obviously I was fighting something other than these guys, I speak somewhat loudly and was like, "Hello? Anybody still coherent in here?"
Another feral ghoul climbs out from underneath some of the rubble there. Anything you'd like to do?
Try and hit him with a pulse like I've been doing.
All right. That puts your difficulty at 1. 1 success there. Go ahead and make your roll.
Intelligence, speech. Okay, I'd like to luck that.
Okay, which one are you lucking?
The 13.
13? Okay. Oh.
Ah, good. Alright. Hit me.
Being that I'm still working out potential complications for these mind link things. We're just going to be exchanging action points for them. So I'll take an action point instead of actually doing anything directly to you.
Alright.
Alright, so you can still luck the 6 and the 12 if you wish, or let it be.
I'll try the 12 and... Well, now that's...
Alright. Well, that gives you... The difficulty was 1. That gives you an action point there and allows you to successfully control number 3. Anything else?
And while I'm doing that, do I sense the other mind, I guess?
You do
Or
sense it,
that
but you're not sure where it is. It's it's similar to how earlier there was like the children all gathered together was kind of like a blob of radiation. You couldn't discern individual signatures. That is kind of happening in this area where when you try to focus in on the other distinct signature, it all just kind of blends together.
Alright.
All right. So anything else?
Aside from continue collecting these guys together, not so much.
Okay. Anything for Bane?
I'll move him over to there.
All right.
And continue the Overwatch, I guess.
Okay. As you do, so kind of like, because the turns all are happening in a short amount of time, as you take over this last ghoul, from behind him out steps, I don't have the appropriate icon for it, but out steps the child glowing one that you had seen earlier. And in your mind, you hear, "Why are you taking away all my friends?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, they seem to be a threat to the town. I was hoping to either get them so they're not lost anymore, or get them out someplace where they're not a danger to the rest of the ghoul town around us.
Well, of course they're a threat to the town. The town's a threat to us. These are the ones that worked in this farm, and they forced them to experiment with the fungi, which caused them to become feral sooner than they should have. And now, they wish to just kill us, and they send you to do it.
I wasn't trying to kill anybody. If I had to, I was going to, but otherwise I was actually going to try and get them, if I can, get their minds back to them.
That is not something that's possible. And what would you do? Send them away somewhere else? Let raiders kill them, or some settlement kill them? It's no better than you doing it yourself. Jack, I
know.
need you to roll a intelligence speech to set the difficulty.
Okay. Oh.
Right, difficulty
Yes.
is 2. I don't know if I've been doing that right. Failure. You
Okay.
feel from this glowing child a tug at the Pharaoh Ghoul in front of you, trying to pull it from your control.
Alright. And I kind of... You're not the first other ghoul I've encountered that it could do that. I know a place where... Not too far from Waco that you guys could go to. There's nothing but ghouls there, and they do not welcome outsiders, but you may be able to be welcomed, if nothing else, simply because you're like they are.
That is an intriguing proposition, but it would mean leaving this place that is ours. The fungi here supports us, and those sentient ghouls that drove these to their ferility are trying to take what is ours. If we just leave, then we're giving it up. Would you give up something that was yours just because there might be an easier path?
Not really, but if they're willing and able to just hunt, well, they're able, but if they were willing to do so, they could just come in and wipe you guys out. So I'm trying to find a
They have tried.
peaceful solution.
and they are not capable. That's why they sent you. The town elder knew that you were different. Knew that you would be the only one that could interrupt my control.
All right. So I'm gonna do something potentially stupid. Since he's,
Okay.
I'm gonna pull
You
out
like
the Radiant Heart, and it's like, well, if I can't get you to leave, and they really don't want you to stay, and try to use the Radiant Heart to just start sucking the radiation out of them,
Okay.
and project it. This is an open air, or is it actually there's a roof?
You're still in an open air area.
Okay. Basically project the radiation straight up.
Oh, gonna mess with the ozone layer, are we?
Yeah,
It's been messed with a lot already, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure it would affect much at this point.
Okay. As you do so, you are you begin to pull the radiation. Are you pulling it out of all of them, or just the feral ones?
All of them. And I'm aiming to get them coherent, but if I can't, now then, fortunately, I might wind up draining them all the way.
As you begin to drain the radiation from the ghouls, you see that the ones that have gone feral, there is no hope for them. Their minds have gone entirely. Their bodies are also virtually rotting corpses at this point, that without the radiation they will cease to function. However, the glowing child, is fighting your attempts to draw the radiation from him. He's screaming, asking, "Why are you killing my friends, my family?" And in an instant, you get a flash of this child was a normal ghoul at one point. These other ghouls here were its family, the mother, father, some aunts and uncles. They were apparently spending Halloween together. Actually, further back than this, before the bombs dropped, they were spending Halloween together when the bombs fell in October of that. I forget the year now. I think it was 2077. Yeah. No, that was Cyberpunk 2077. Anyway.
2070s of some stripe, if I remember correctly, or 2170s. But yeah, a bit in the future for us now.
Yeah. I don't know. I usually have that date easily in mind, but I don't have it today. All I remember is it's around Halloween, October, when the bombs fell. But you see this child with his family spending their time together, and then you see the explosions, and it mirrors very much your memories of the explosions. And then quick flashes of them working together, building the settlements, starting their fungi or algae farms, algae and fungi farms. And then you see the elder in this very building with weapons as soldiers. They're forcing this group to do something. You can't tell exactly what, but do something to their farm, causing it to produce more radiation. And it's not long after this that the adult ghouls become feral and the child begins to become a glowing one. And another vision, the final vision from this perspective, you see the elder again has returned with more ghoul soldiers shooting, firing their weapons into the building, trying to kill the ferals here. And the child, being able to move around unseen, continues to res them back with his radiation pulse when they are taken down, thus causing the elder and the soldiers to give up the attempt. And in a brief second before the visions fade, you see the oasis that you discovered near Waco once before. No longer. And now you're back, you're sending the radiation up. The feral ghouls around you are nearly depleted of their radiation, and the child is on the ground glowing, but the glow is beginning to fade. He is near death.
And I stop pulling from the kid.
Okay.
And you've been to where I was going to try and send you, haven't you?
He looks at you and says, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And the oasis by Waco?
I've never left Los. And he looks around you. He sees the other ghouls now totally drained and dead. And you can feel him gathering power to attempt to do a radiation pulse.
Okay. I tell him, hold on. You don't want them to suffer, right?
Their suffering's already over. If they are not here, I have nothing to protect me from the Elder. He will come to kill me.
Yeah, but didn't look like they were actually anything more than bodies you were animating purely because you wanted a group of puppets. And honestly, I think you might be better off if you do go to that oasis. But I still have to think harder because I saw a vision of you of that place, but something was wrong.
Think about what I said. I'll tell you, it was the perspective of the oasis was not from any living being.
Yeah.
Including ghouls. It was not from it was not like, it wasn't from a child's side, it wasn't from an adult side, it was looking down at the oasis as if from a bird's eye view.
Yeah. Like somebody had bombed it.
No, I didn't say anything about a bomb.
Well, it's no longer there and somebody flying over, so... Or...
You'll have to make some rolls or spend action points to get more details to... And you won't be able to do it right now, you have to do it during a rest period.
Okay. Well... And so, kind of look at the kid and say, well, are you sure you want to just make them your puppets again?
As I told you, without them, the Elder will come and kill me. And he will not be happy with you if you've left me alive. So if there's something you hope to gain from this, you'd better kill me. Because if you don't, the Elder will. And if he doesn't, and I am victorious. I will come for you.
Most unfortunate. And I just suck the power out of him.
Okay.
And actually use the radiation to scorch the farm.
All right. So you've rendered the farm. As you get closer to the farm to try and use the radiation to scorch it, you realize that the reason you were not able to focus in on the child earlier is because the amount of radiation this farm is giving off. It is essentially scorched already. Your only guess now as to why the elder would want it is there's something he's planning to do with this radiation, or he simply wanted to cover up some action that he and the other citizens took. With the pharaoh ghouls and the glowing child now dead, you are free to return to the main city.
Alright. And yeah, head back out. And as get to about here, look to Slash and say, that was a complete and utter waste.
Did you kill him?
Had to. And if it wasn't for the fact that it'd probably start a fight, I think I might be real tempted to turn the Elder into, push so much power into him that he loses himself and is nothing but a ravening beast for the rest of eternity. And
Well, what happened, Jack?
the Elder happened to mess with their supply of, had them mess with their fungus and turned them all into, the kid into a glowing one and turned them feral rather quickly. And then basically tried to bury it. So I just basically had to kill a whole frickin' family over somebody's greed.
I don't know. Is he supposed to help us find the vault?
Well, there's supposed to be a historian that might have some information for us in town. Unfortunately, the only way to get in town was to do this.
Well, might want to put that underneath your cap or something.
Yeah.
Hold up.
I think I'll try to avoid dealing with the Elder, but... And we'll... Once we're away from town, if I can explain this to, Squire Thompson, see what he thinks of the matter. I kinda wish I could have talked them into going to the Oasis. Just start trying to walk basically back to the Humvee to we've got the job done.
Okay. Close that map for now. We don't need it at the moment. You return to the Humvee, speak with Squire Thompson. He signals the guards. Thompson does notice your demeanor, but he doesn't comment on it. He doesn't press you for any information.
All right. So job's done, and kind of wish I could have gotten them someplace else. And kind of quirk an eyebrow at Thompson's. Do you want to speak with the elder, or do you think they're just going to talk to me?
I don't know. I can speak with him if you wish. Is there any reason you shouldn't, since you did speak with him originally?
I have reason to be displeased with him. And
well, I'll speak with him for now, and however, if he reaches to a point that he wishes to speak with you,
I will speak with him if I have to.
Very well. At this point, he's getting on late in the day. It is nearly time for rest, a good night's sleep. The elder comes out, speaks with Squire Thompson. Thompson, of course, conveys the success of the mission to the elder. The elder looks pleased with the news and says, you may come on in. The vehicle, of course, probably need to stay out here, but you can come in. Being as late as it is, we'll provide you some accommodations for the night, and then you can begin exploring our fine city in the morning. As you go in, the elder does very briefly and very not quite as powerful as you've heard before, Jack, but in your mind you hear, "Come speak with me." It's very faint.
All right.
Do you look around for the source?
Yeah.
As you look around, you find the elder looking at you very intensely, not just in a "I'm trying to get your attention" way, but in a means of concentration. Like he's having to concentrate very hard just to get that little bit of information to your mind telepathically.
All right.
Or should I say radiation?
Yeah. All right. So I step closer to the elder and will, like, kind of wave them on if they start to stop. But I keep Bane to my side.
Okay.
And kind of just look at the elder and it's like, what?
He motions you to keep walking, although he carefully has you and him and Bane, not that he's paying much attention to Bane, fall back several paces behind the rest of the group. And he, under his breath, so others won't really hear, I knew you were special. You're like the one I've met at Oasis. Did you kill the child?
I would much rather not have had to do so.
It's better that it's done. He was a nuisance. He should not have received such gifts. Unlike you and I. You seem to be the same kind of man as I, able to see the potential in these gifts. Though you seem to be reluctant to use them to their full ability.
If I use the full ability of this, there would be nothing left for anyone ever again.
Except for us ghouls.
No, there wouldn't even be ghouls left. This planet would be glass.
You should visit the Oasis.
I have. I'm not welcome there.
And you must have done something wrong.
Tried to
glowing
broker
one there.
peace.
The glowing one there understood how to use the abilities to their full potential to create an oasis for ghouls, for our kind.
Mm.
If you are using the full, what you think are the full abilities, and to you that is destroying the entire planet, that not even ghouls can live here, then you've not even tapped the potential of this ability, of this gift.
Alright.
But you said something about trying to broker a peace at the
Yes.
Oasis. With who?
I tried to get, since it's so close to Waco and the people of Waco were interested in trying to use the oasis for growing crops. I basically told them that it was a ghoul settlement and it would be best that they leave it alone. They insisted on trying to talk, and well, I didn't see much harm in it, so I tried, and they don't want me near them anymore.
You are a smooth-skinned lapdog, trying to broker peace with ghouls and smoothskins. The only reason I've allowed these smoothskins in is because they serve you. We have no business having peace with them, letting them live with us, giving them the benefit of our own oases. They cast us out at every turn. And you'd want to broker peace for them. And he spits out that last sentence in a very vitriol way.
Well, the option is, and then I send him not how to get there, but the images of the parallax. And in fact, I basically, as best I can, psychically shove it down his throat.
When you've finished delivering the images, he does look rather shocked. But when he begins to speak, you realize it was just from having received that information. He had never received information in that way before. And that appears to be the only reason he was shocked. Because as he turns to you after receiving those images, that, my friend, was paradise. Why you ever left. You deserve your smooth skins. And he turns and walks away.
Alright.
All right. Slash.
Yeah.
You notice that Jack has gone to the back of the group to speak with the elder. And in a moment of clarity for you, I know you typically like to fall behind and follow Jack, but in this moment you realize you probably shouldn't.
I can see the cloud around Jack's head.
Yes. So as you're walking through, you feel the eyes of all the ghouls upon you, upon the group in general, but you certainly feel it upon you a bit, since you're not amongst the humans, the smooth skins that are here. You're the standout. The other three are in nearly identical uniforms, with save for their ranks. But you are wearing different gear than they are, so you get a few extra looks, or more intriguing looks, let's say. You find that while this town does seem to be on the thinner side of towns, meaning it's economically it's not as rich as Carbon even, and Carbon's probably one of the poorest settlements in the Tang influence. You do see the typical signs of they have their own, albeit small, economy here. You see a few stalls where they have their algae and the fungi set up, and perhaps the stall sells one kind of flavor or texture. It's more texture than flavor for ghouls, of algae and fungi, and another one has a different kind of texture. And then there's some just general supplies of clothing and weapons and ammo, armor. But all the other niceties, any luxury things, as a budding merchant yourself, you realize that there is nothing here that is not essential. All of their gear, all of their housing, all of their merchandise could all be summed up as essential items for living. You make note of a few ghouls that you may want to speak with later that are some of these merchants. You see one stall that stands out. It does have a few things that are not necessarily essential, mostly scrap. And the sign above it says traveling merchants here, trade here for your alcohol things and others and such. But not much else is going on there. You don't even see a tavern in this town. You do see a wide variety of ghouls. Now that you've been around Jack for some time, you can kind of discern the age of some of these ghouls based on their necrosis. And you see many that you think, well, that one's about the same age as Jack. That one there is a post-war ghoul, and things like that as you walk through. But none of the others really stand out so much, except the one who's standing with a child, and the child is eating from a box of sugar bombs underneath a sign on their building that says Historian. What would you like to do as you walk with the group, as Jack speaks with the elder?
The one area there where it says, the junk and for, general trade, I'll go up and talk to him, to them.
Okay.
And see if they want to start a trade route with the Brotherhood of Steel, and what things that they could gather together for trade.
Yes. Well, we can. We're good scavengers. We typically trade, or have to trade scrap metal and other scavenged things for some of our essentials. Obviously, we trade a lot of our algae and such to the traders so they can make their liquors and such. But we have to supplement that with scrap and such, and we generally have more scrap than we need. So we could supply that, or trade that with the Brotherhood of Steel for other supplies, such as medical supplies or other essentials. But you would have to speak with the elder. He must approve all new trade routes. We're not necessarily in need of anything new with any other settlements at this time, but The elder would know more. But since you are here, I'm happy to trade with you. There would be no need for approval from the elder for that.
Do you deal in caps, or is it a barter system, or how do you?
We can deal in caps, yes.
Also got some old world money, I think, and you pull some of that out.
Yes. A few of us around here would recall that, and it's worth. I, however, am not one of those that would know. Caps will do just fine.
Okay. Have you found anything like interesting? Unusual?
I've a few things. They're organized by category. What kind of thing might you be looking for that is unique? Armor, weapon. Well, there's so many types of weapons. A small weapon, a melee weapon, big weapons.
Well, I'm currently trying to find different modifications for either my weapons or for power armor.
Well, is there? I'm pretty handy with weapons. Which one would you like me to take a look at?
So you do you know how to modify weapons, or do you just have some gear there, or what you?
Well, I used to modify weapons for the NCR army.
Okay. Well, I think I've just started to modify weapons myself, so I think that this I don't know. I was looking at my friend's rifle here. I was wondering if you knew how to make it more powerful.
So talking about Jack's rifle?
Yeah.
Which rifle is that? The calibrated long marksman one? Or the hunting rifle?
I don't know which one. Do you switch back and forth between those two, Jack, or which one you've been using? Oh, okay. All right.
The combat rifle has the vicious and accurate, and the hunting rifle has pierce.
Is the pierce from the ammunition, or is it from the receiver or something? Or do you know?
It is a stock hunting rifle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hunting rifles have piercing by default.
Okay. So, I'm not looking at that, in particular, and, I've got the gun nut 1, so I don't know a lot about this particular rifle. That, and I'm not, I don't know, I don't have the mods looking at it and such.
Right.
But is there any way to make that more powerful, be it more damage dice or anything?
The hunting rifle?
Yeah, since it already has the pierce and such. Try to.
So you go over and quickly whisper in Jack's ear, and you take his hunting rifle and you come back to this merchant, and you show it to him. He takes it out of your hands. He looks at it, inspects it very expertly and smartly, like he was trained to look at these things. And then he puts it down on the table. And he goes, turns around behind him, digs around for a little bit, and then he comes back out with a receiver. And he says, "Well, this right here, this here's a powerful receiver. It can, it'll make the gun go boom more."
Well,
And,
I like a big boomstick.
So just for your information, powerful receiver is a gun that won, and it modifies the damage by +2.
Ooh.
And so he puts it down on the table and says, "Now I can install it for you. The part plus the work, it would be 300 caps."
Well, I mean, I think I can install it. I just don't have the piece. How much just for the receiver?
Well, most of my profit comes from the work, so you're not going to have to do
Okay.
the work. I'm going to 100 caps. What do you say? 100
Well,
caps.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad price. What do you say there, Jack? You mind me tinkering with your rifle?
If you want. Yeah, since apparently the convo's over. Yeah. Yeah, if you want, though, I wouldn't mind seeing the quality of our friend here's work, if you don't mind. Kind of look at the ghoul there.
Well, it would be good to see how somebody else does things. Maybe I can learn some more. Okay. Well, I got some caps. This is my idea. I'll go ahead and pay for it. You said 300?
Yep, 300.
All right. I wish I had Betsy here with me. I'd be trading with you like real good. But I don't have any of my stuff, my wares. I got guns and ammo and all sorts of little things here and there too. What kind of stuff do y'all need?
Oh, just the essentials.
Oh, that's right. You were saying medical supplies?
Yeah, medical stuff, clothing, yeah, not much else. Maybe supplies to repair buildings every now and then, but we usually scavenge that ourselves. So he holds his hands out for the caps as his other hand starts scrounging around for not weapons, for tools.
Okay, so I'll give him the 300 caps, and
Right.
while he's messing about, and I'm looking over his shoulder, so we came out here looking for a vault. Do you know anything about that?
A vault. I don't know much about vaults. I know that there's some pre-war doohickeys, right? And he's taking out 2 screws from the receiver now.
Well, yeah, this generally I guess it's like a building underground.
Yeah, build underground. That would make sense, I guess. Lots of rich folk used them too, right? He flips the gun over and takes out another 2 screws.
I don't know much. Mainly, we're just we're trying to see if the vault's still there and find out any information from the old world.
The old world is what done all this to us. Ain't nothing to learn from them except how to do this more. And the receiver's now loose from the rifle, and he brings the other one up, places it into position.
You pretty quick about all that, ain't you?
Well, it's That's what I did for a long time. And he puts in 2 screws, turns it over, puts in another 2 screws, and hands it back to you. Well, there you go. It's now a powerful hunting rifle. It goes boom more.
What's the damage dice on it now, bud?
8.
Nice.
Yeah. Um. Entirely outside of that, there is a receiver that would be somewhat better. Well, it reduces the damage, but gains a few things, including, unfortunately, inaccurate. But there's a couple other things you can add to deal with that problem.
Oh, yeah, stock and all that.
Yeah, other time, other place.
Mm-hmm.
Look to what, you know, do rather good work, sir, and pull and just trying to get some goodwill going. Pull one of the bottles of rum I have and just set it on the counter. Well, most people are rather slow and.
We have a newfound family.
Apify.
Welcome.
Thank you for following. Appreciate it.
And most folks will take a good deal longer to do something like this. And just pull my hand away on. If he takes it, he takes it. If not, well.
He picks it up and hands it back to you and says, unless we're taking it in an actual barter sense, we don't need it. We only take essentials here.
Yeah, I stuffed the bottle run back in the bag. I thought so.
He looks at you and says, I know you gave the kids, they tend to take whatever, candies and everything, but all the adults around here, not such a good idea to be trying to give them things that are not essential. Unless they're specifically picking it out in a barter sense. That'll get a few people riled up at you a bit.
Yeah, I kind of hoped not, but. And. There is a wider world out there, and no matter what some people want to say, we gotta share it, so.
Well, we'll see.
You could use that later for barter for someone else.
Yeah, but I didn't acquire it in barter, so I can't take it.
Ah. Ain't my rules. Ain't. I'm not terribly familiar with them, so. And we'll just kind of look around. But, you know, I wish we didn't have such a problematic situation here. Wish there was something more than the essentials we could give you guys.
The essentials is all you need to survive, though.
There's surviving, and then there's living. But thank you for your time, sir, and just start to walk away.
Okay. Slash, you also, as you're finishing up here, couple things you noted. The amount of time it took him to change out the receiver, it was under 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you feel like, well, it was 4 screws, put the receiver in there and align it correctly, put 4 screws back. Yeah, I mean, what's up with that? You feel more confident now in your all of your gun nut 1 required modifications. So you will have it's typically a repair skill roll. You'll have the ability to do a re-roll on one of your d20s when you do a modification for any gun nut 1 mod.
Okay.
Please make a note of that in your notes on your character sheet.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. You also, as you finish up with the weapon vendor, you remember, oh yeah, I saw the historian sign that the kid was talking about. And I saw the kid eating some of the sugar bombs, which is not too far from where you are with the weapon vendor. And as it turns out, it's not too far from where the rest of the group was led to for their lodgings for the night.
All right. And I'm gonna presume they don't want visitors overnight at the historians, so
Probably
guess.
not, but it's not quite turn-in time. It's probably about 30 minutes until supper, and then turn-in time.
Okay, so I'll point it out actually to Thompson's, like, do you want to come with, or you...
Thompson will look at you and he'll shake his head. I think me and the others will just go to the lodgings. Seems you and Slash at least have built up a rapport. It won't be too conspicuous if you go, but it might become too conspicuous if we all go.
All right. And hopefully we find what you're looking for.
Indeed.
Hmm.
All right.
And...
So I'm actually going to go and say we're going to call it there.
All right.
Because any conversation we get into now is going to be longer than we have time left.
Right.
All right.
Gotcha.
So let's switch over this. So, thank you all for watching. Make sure you come back next session, the 22nd, for session 33, where we will pick up where we left off here in Los, the Ghoul City. Hopefully find out more about the visions that Jack has had, find out more about the Vault-Tec's secrets, and eventually we'll get around to "O Gemma, where art thou?" And maybe deal with him and his old organization, his new organization. I'll leave that up to interpretation as to which one he was part of first. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.